about it, but I won't. One of Steve Backshall's jobs here on The One Show is to bring us closer to wildlife we wouldn't normally expect to see on these shores.
Tonight, a creature making a home for itself in mid-Wales, more than 4,000 miles from its natural habitat.
What kind of creatures would you expect to see in a Welsh wildlife reserve? Some butterflies, songbirds, maybe a fox? Well, how would you feel if you came face to face with a fully grown Asian water buffalo? Hello. Weighing in at over half a tonne and with gargantuan appetites, these beasts have managed to transform a former forestry plantation into a wetland wildlife haven. But unlike the rest of the alien invaders we're featuring on The One Show, these aren't escapees who are busy colonising Wales. These Asian natives were brought here specifically to do a very important job. Just 4 years ago, Machynlleth Wildlife Reserve here in Montgomeryshire was a thick conifer plantation. And now look at it. I met up with Reserves Officer Tony Senior to find out why they took the extraordinary decision to import the buffalo. What job are they actually doing for you here?
They manage the trees, they control the scrub, they eat the scrub, they like to eat the willow and the birch. They also trample through it and break it up, so if they're not eating it, they're at least damaging it and breaking it down. And they open up, they keep the water bodies open that we've had put on here. And they will keep them open, and they'll also make new water bodies because they like to wallow in the wet areas.
Normally talking about having non-native species getting into a wildlife reserve, that's seen as being a bad thing. Why do we make a special exception in the case of the water buffalo?
Because we would struggle to find a native breed that would cope with these conditions. I mean, we look at this, these are a management tool. They're like a piece of machinery. You buy the right or borrow the right piece of machinery to do the job that you want doing. These are the right tools to do that job, and that's the way you have to look at it.
Half of the world's population of water buffalo are actually found in India, where they work the rice fields, pull carts and ploughs, and provide milk and meat. The reason they're so useful here is because the feet of our native cows could never cope with the boggy conditions. But water buffalo have cloven hooves, specially adapted for mud, and they love the water. What sort of wildlife are you getting here that you wouldn't have got with the scrub?
Well, we've got a whole variety of bird life, grasshopper warbler, sedge warbler, and an amazing amount of invertebrates, the dragonflies and the damselflies. We wouldn't be having some of these animals on site if the water buffalo weren't here trying to keep the site open.
The whole reserve is dotted with these ponds, which are kept free of scrub by the water buffalo. And to find out why they're so important for wildlife, you need to take a delve inside. Right, let's see what we've got. Lots of our British insects spend a lot of their lives in the water. And this hawker dragonfly nymph is one of them. Pretty soon that'll be emerging as a winged adult and hunting around this nature reserve. The health of any ecosystem can really be told by how well the small things there are doing. So, the big animals, the water buffalo, are having a direct impact on the lives of the small ones. So what do you like about the water buffalo?
But they're just so friendly, you know, they're such lovable animals, really. And it's the fact that you can get so close, you can stroke them. They're just such a nice, pleasant animal to be around.
Thanks to a bit of lateral thinking and to some very hungry water buffalo, a fantastic resource has been created for wildlife and people alike.
Well, Steve, I mean, that has obviously been a success, but you do have your reservations about introducing other species.
Yeah, I've got to say, in this particular situation, it's worked an absolute treat. You go to the area where the water buffaloes are, and it's a stunning wetland habitat. You go just outside it, and it's this scrubby vegetation that really you can't get through, and there's not an awful lot living there. But in ecology, whenever you hear the word introduction, a shiver tends to go up your spine. You know, it's usually associated with something really bad, like, you know, for an example, in Australia, introducing rabbits and foxes and cane toads.
Why did they do that, though? For what purpose? The cane toad, for example. Why introduce the cane toad?
Foxes and rabbits were introduced for us to hunt, believe it or not, taken all the way around the world just so they could be shot. Cane toads were taken out there to eat the cane toad beetle, which lives in a completely different place. It lives up high on the stalks. So they never ate them. They just went wild all over the country. And all around the world, that kind of situation is genuinely replicated. Here, because you're looking at a much larger animal that reproduces much slower and it's enclosed, it's not likely to happen. But even so, you do start thinking, what's going to happen in the future?
You've spent some time in Machynlleth, haven't you?
Yes, yeah. I've been to. They've got an ecological centre there, which has everything to do with ecology. I think it's one of the first.
Yeah, it's a fantastic place,
it's absolutely fantastic. And going up on that train, up that mountain.
Have you run into any water buffalo? I can imagine them looking at each other going, that's her off Strictly Come Dancing.
No, I haven't, but I'm shocked you said they're gentle. They look such
absolutely.
ferocious beasts.
Yeah.
Well, there's
Half
plenty
a ton of gentle beast,
But he's charging at you. Hang on, you're gentle, Steve Backshall said so.
Yeah.
Do be careful out there, don't go
I have to get one of those
stroke
matadors.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Got the matador, put your hat back on. Sombrero, as they call it. Thanks very much. Lovely to have you here,
Yes,
Arlie.
thanks,
and you,
Arlie.
Steve.
Thank you, Steve. That is it for tonight. There's just time to say well done to One Show viewers Thomas Schmidt, Alex French,